today we've got a what's in the bag. I'm going to be honest, it hasn't really been that long since the last time I did one of these, but for 2026 pretty much everything has changed. I'm very delighted to announce that I am now sponsored by Strixon for 2026. I am on their the kind of amateur development program, so they have provided me with kind of all of my kit for this year. The service has been unbelievable. They couldn't have been more helpful, and I think also when I talk you through the changes that I've made, you'll kind of see what they've done for me, and yeah, it's been great so far. So I'm going to talk you through what's in the bag. We're going to go through the changes that I've made, and then also I'm going to hit some shots and kind of explain why I have done what I've done and kind of the improvements that I've made across the board really. I hope you've got a while because I've just counted, I have 19 clubs in this golf bag. Let's get into it. We'll go with wedges. To begin with, I have got the Cleveland, the RTZ Tour Rack, and it is in raw. I just think the shape of the wedges is mint, and also for me, actually having fresh wedges and having fresh grooves has made a massive difference. I have a 60 and a low bounce, which I'm not currently using at the moment, which is something that I'll kind of switch into when I get to links turf. Because yeah, you've got like a lot of the sole is shaved off on this one. So yeah, pretty sharp leading edge. Not something I'm going to be currently using in the kind of the climate of the UK. My other lob wedge, which I'm kind of raving about at the moment, this is the Adapt 60 degrees. So it's full face, so it's grooves across the whole face. It says it has 8 degrees of bounce. It's actually got a multiple bounce setup across the sole. So this wedge can kind of do all sorts, and yeah, I think looking down on the full face is something that I've changed, and to be honest, I absolutely love it. It's great because it just gives you the kind of the freedom to kind of look at all of the face and know that you can kind of use all of it as grooves. So I've always been a Vokey man, but for the most part, switching into these wedges has been so easy. 54 in a mid, and I also go 50 in the mid as well. Change that I have made is wedge shaft. So I was normally in a Dynamic Gold S400 kind of guy, and now I've actually gone in the 54 and the 60 a little bit softer. So I've gone 125S, which is a KBS Tour high rev, and then in my 50, I've gone heavier and stiffer. So for my lower down wedges, I don't particularly hit many full shots with them. I tend to kind of just hit kind of flighted down, take speed off, which is why I've gone softer. It just gives me a little bit more feel. And then with my 50, I find that sometimes it balloons up when I'm trying to hit a full shot. So I've actually gone the same with my iron shaft in this one. I've gone with a KBS 130, and for the most part, it's been great. I've been able to kind of knock the flight down, and yeah, they've been a pleasure so far. And we're done with the wedges, onto the irons. A slight change. If you watched my last What's in the Bag video, you would have seen that I had the Strixon ZX7s Mark IIs. I've played this iron for the last 3 years, absolutely loved it, and again, this is one of the reasons why kind of signing with Strixon was quite an easy thing for me to do, is the fact that I was very familiar with a lot of the stuff, and actually I'd kind of played it a lot already. The only change I've made with my irons so far is the fact that I've gone with the Z Forged iron up until the 7 iron. So I've actually gone with a little combo set. I didn't necessarily have any real problems with the ZXIs in the lower irons. It was just the fact that with the Z Forged, it just helps me lower that flight with the lower irons, and actually I can kind of flight those shots in with an 8 iron and below, and it just gives me a little bit more control. It's the same shaft and the same grip that I've always played. It's a KBS 130 dollar taper. That's a 130X. Nothing really more to talk about. The V-sole is kind of just one of those things that I love and I get along with so well. They do everything I want them to do. If I hit a bad shot, I know it's my fault. It's not the golf club at all. So it's kind of holds me accountable. And yeah, I absolutely love these irons so far. If you're kind of wondering what the difference is between the Mark IIs and the ZXIs, aesthetically, not a whole lot, but the feel is kind of the biggest difference. They've made them out of a slightly different metal this year. They feel so much softer. Yeah, so making a good iron a lot better already. And then I will go to, God, there's so many golf clubs in here. Oh, I've got hybrid and 3 iron. They basically go the same number. They go about 235 to 240, just 2 very different ball flights. So I've got my 3-iron for kind of linksy golf courses, and then I've also got my hybrid. When the weather gets a little bit nicer, it's not as windy, and actually I need to be able to hit the ball a little bit higher, stop it onto the greens. So in my hybrid, it is the ZXi Strixon. It's a 19 degree. I have it set on -1 on flat. So it's playing about 18 degrees. So far it's been amazing, and actually I found that I got it to be able to hit the ball a little bit higher, but I actually don't struggle to hit this low either. So this might be finding its way into the bag a little bit more than I kind of would have thought so. I've got a Tour AD, a VF, I've got a 95X in that same grip, Tour Velvet 60 round. I go 3 layers of tape on them as well. 3-iron, again, this is a pretty lumpy build. We've got a Ventus Black HB, it's a 10X, tipped 1/2 inch. This thing is an absolute rocket ship. It's a 3-iron, it's 20 degrees, it plays 19, I've got it 1 degree strong. It's just a rocket ship. Like, the ball speed you get off it is an absolute joke. This is a pretty strong ball fly, goes about 235 to 240 in the air. And it's a great option when I'm kind of not getting along with my driver. I can kind of just tee this up, and it's a fairway finder kind of club. Okay, right, moving up the bag. So we've got 3-iron hybrid. We're now going to 3-wood. I've got 2 options. And when I say 2 options, I've obviously got my new 3-wood, and I've also got my old and trusty, my QI10. QI10, Ventus Black. This thing has kind of stood the test of time. You'll see the absolute state of it. It's got lead tape on there. This thing is my favourite club out of all of them, to be honest. So I'm not entirely sure if the new Strixon is going to get in over it, purely because I'm just very familiar with this club. I know kind of exactly what it's going to do, when it's going to do it. And again, it's one of those things, if I hit a bad shot with it, I know it's me, and it's not really the golf club at all. But yeah, so this is also my new 3-wood. This is ZXi 15 degree. I have it set on flat standard, so it plays 15 degrees of loft. I've got a Tour AD DI 8X in there as well. I know it's pretty cool with the orange shaft. The performance off this thing, it's hot. It goes an absolute mile, and to be fair, it'll probably get in over the TaylorMade at some point. I'm just in a little bit of an interim phase. I don't know, I just think I need a little bit more time to kind of bed it in. I don't know, it's so hard to get rid of this club. It's my old trusty, yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see. But yeah, I do love this, and I think also the orange shaft looks an absolute joke as well. So it's one of those things, I kind of just want to use it because I think the orange shaft looks cool, but that's not why we're doing this. Okay, right, so moving on to the drivers. You might be wondering, why have I got a QI10 head cover? Honestly, this is just a head cover for my old driver. Why do I have it? I don't know. I think I've lost the GT one, so I'm just using a random TaylorMade one. So these are my 2 drivers. I have gone from the Titleist GT3 9 degree, a heavyweight in T2, and also just a little bit of lead tape on the toe as well, which helps me kind of just set up for a fade and know that I'm not really going to miss the ball left. I've got it set up on C1, which is lower and flatter. Again, Ventus Black 7X, not tipped at all, this one, so this is straight in with my normal grip. My new driver is the ZXi LS. I've got it in an 8 degree. So we've matched up the golf shaft in this one. So I've got Ventus Black 7X, the new Velocore Plus. It is pretty much the same spec as my Titleist. It's just obviously the heads are slightly different. The reason I really like the Strix, it sets up really nice and flat. The 8 degrees, I don't really kind of struggle launching it anyway, but the 8 degrees kind of helps keep the lid on the flight. I've also got like a little bit of lead tape on there as well, just to help me fade it. I've got it set on flat and standard. The transition into the Strix and stuff really hasn't been too difficult at all. That is the full way up to the bag. That is the big dog. Originally, I actually got fitted to DI 7X in my driver. And actually I wasn't particularly getting on with it. I just felt that kind of the tip and the handle wasn't really stiff enough for me. So then they sent me out a Ventus Black to match up my old spec of my Gamer, and yeah, it's just one of those things. Those guys have been so helpful, just sending out golf shafts and just making sure that the fit has been perfect. It's the same thing with my 3-iron. I had a 105 VF in there, and again, it was just a little bit too soft for me, so I've gone for a Ventus Black. Moving on up the bag, you will see that there's kind of, you know, there's something that isn't going in just yet, but we are testing. Again, this is just my normal, my Scotty Cameron. It's a black Newport, it's a Circle T, plays 33 inches. Kind of put this in like halfway through the summer, and yeah, I've just really liked it. Obviously I've had some bad putting days, I've had some good putting days, but for the most part, That's on me, it's not on the putter. The putter does its job pretty well. It's just the fact that sometimes it's the idiot on the end of it. This thing is an absolute thing of beauty. I cannot complain about that at all. And then we have something that a lot of you guys kind of would have seen before. We've got a lab, we've got the Oz Eye. The Oz Eye? Yeah, the Oz 1i. It is obviously centre shafted and it is 0 torque. So if you kind of spin it round, it will always face the target. Is it something that I'm kind of going to put in straight away? Probably not. It's just one of those things. I heard a lot of people rave about them and I kind of just wanted to see for myself. It hasn't been all that successful at the moment. I did a couple bits on like Sandputt Lab, and I think for the most part, I'm gonna probably stick with my blade purely because my tendencies in my putting is actually that I aim right and kind of pull it back on target. And labs, obviously, if you don't know the kind of spiel behind labs, they are very stable. They don't really tend to they have no face rotation. And actually for me, for someone who already aims right and actually corrects it and puts it back online, if I used a lab and I aimed right, I'm just gonna hit it further right. So it's, yeah, so it's one of those things. I'm not fully convinced yet, but we're gonna keep going. And yeah, it's just one of those things that just gives me a couple of options. Okay, I also have now created an absolute mess around me, but thank you to Strixon for sending me out not just the golf clubs, but the bags, the balls, the gloves, everything. So we have got, yeah, we've got Strixon gloves in the bag. I'll run through this pretty quickly as this hasn't actually changed from my last what's in the bag. Again, Bushnell, another glove. I'm trying to keep this bag as light as possible because I've been carrying an awful lot of golf clubs. And then in this pocket we got tees, golf balls. The golf ball that I switched to is the Z-Star XV. Again, I've played a Pro V pretty much my entire life. Switching to the XV hasn't really been much of an issue at all, if I'm completely honest. Again, it was kind of maybe the thing that I was cautious about because I've played a Pro V for so long, but actually pretty much like they're almost identical in performance. If anything, the Z-Star XV spins about 200 to 300 revs, a little bit lower than a normal Pro V, with launching kind of the same, and the feel's pretty similar too. I think in this pocket I just have like driver weight. So for my Strixon driver I have a 14 gram weight and a 12 gram weight, and then also a 10 gram weight which is in it as well. So I just have kind of like options as to kind of the weights that I can put in my driver. I also have the weights for my Titleist as well. So yeah, I think for the most part that's pretty much it. I'm going to hit some balls and I'll explain why I've changed what I have changed, and yeah, hopefully I can demonstrate some of the improvements that I've made as well. I'm going to talk you through some of the changes that I've made in the bag and here as well. So I'm going to explain why I've made the changes based off the kind of the Trackman number that will come up. So I'm going to start with a 50 degree. This is the wedge that I've actually changed shaft. So I've gone heavier and stiffer to try and lower the ball flight. Hopefully, if I can hit some good shots, you will see in the launch angle that it is kind of in the window where it should be. We've got launch angle at the bottom. With wedges, typically you are trying to launch it about half the number on the bottom. So with a 50 degree, I'm trying to launch it in a window of about 25, 26 degrees. Okay, so there we go. That's got about 117, 27 launch. It's pretty much bang on. Definitely a bit of a lower window than I kind of would previously hit my wedges. Obviously the fact that they're fresh as well is obviously going to help too. But in terms of just kind of consistency and being able to control the flight, it makes a massive difference. I've now got my hybrid and my 3-iron. These clubs go the same distance, about 235 to 240, two very different ball flights. So I'll start with the 3-iron. Okay, yeah, so there you go. That's gone 230. It's a pretty good hit, that one. Spins in a good place. That's launched at 10 degrees. So it's a pretty strong flight. It's coming out pretty low, but it's still got a decent amount of spin on it. But again, that's just the ball flight that I'll use in the wind and mainly on links golf. And then when I switch to my hybrid, it'll go similar distance, but it's going to have a lot more spin on it. This will be kind of more of a club that I'll use during the summer, so I can land it a little bit higher and stop it on the greens. There you go, it's pretty solid. There you go. All right, okay, that's gone 1.5 yards further. That's launched at 11. So actually it hasn't launched too much higher, but it's spun a lot more. So landing on a green, that's just going to be a lot easier to control than the 3-iron. And yeah, so it just gives me two different options kind of going up the bag. Okay, right now, so going up to the top of the bag, which is what you all came to see, is the driver change. For me, it was quite a kind of like a big thing. I wanted to make sure that the driver kind of performed well. We'll see like a bit of lead tape on the driver as well, just to make sure that it's kind of, I'm getting the fade off the tee when I need it. Yeah, well, I mean, you'll see in the numbers, it performs well. I will hit some with my gamer, my original gamer, which is my GT3. So this is my current driver. Again, that's hit pretty solid. I haven't hit too many balls today, so I'm quite slow. 114 club is not anything crazy, but 170 ball speed, 288 in the air. Okay, and then switching to the Strixon. .295 in the air, 2000 spin, 173 ball speed. Yeah, it's been quite an easy switch, to be fair. So actually, as of the day of recording this, I'm preparing to play Spanish Amateur next week. So I'm still trying to figure out kind of which clubs I'm going to take, which clubs I'm not, because again, it's one of those things. The performance of the clubs is great. I'm still kind of trying to just get used to them. You'll probably see me using my old driver in Spain. I just kind of need a little bit more time to kind of bed it in. The guys at Strixon have been so good. It's the fact that they haven't really tried to force me into a change in the kind of the clubs at the top of the bag at all. They've basically said that I can change when I'm ready, which has been really good. So yeah, that is basically my 2026 what's in the bag. We're getting ready to play Spanish Amateur. The vlog for that, I will be flying basically in a couple of days. So I'll try and get this video out when I'm there. But yeah, stay tuned for that video, and yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.